Hey, everybody, welcome to today's broadcast. We're going to talk today about something that recently happened with my husband. He was like absolutely dragging, no energy, no stamina, and we're trying to figure out what it was. So, there's all kinds of stressors in our lives. There's emotional, there is anxiety, there are certain foods like gluten that can be a stressor. There's nutrients that can be a stressor. Maybe you're not getting enough of them. Those can be a stressor on your body. And there's chemicals. There's all kinds of different chemicals that could be a stressor. So there's just so many things to list that can be a stressor. So I was trying to figure out what was going on with him. So I decided to do a Zyto Health and Wellness scan since the last one he had done was about 3 months ago in August. And I was just so amazed at how his endocrine glands, his endocrine system had deteriorated to basically nothing, no function based on the scan compared to what it was only 3 months ago. So that made me think, well, I got to think, what has he been doing different in his routine that would be causing this? And so the only thing that I could come up with is that he had been working on a remodeling project in our house here, which required some mudding of drywall seams, using some joint compound. So, okay, I went and I figured out, we got the container and looked on the ingredients. Well, guess what? There's not a single ingredient list on this 5-gallon bucket. Nothing. There's a warning on there for inhalation, like for your lungs and things like that. But that's nothing to do with the endocrine system. So then I'm like, okay, how do I even find out what's in it? So I looked up the company name. I was able to find the data safety sheet, and that listed about 6 ingredients, typical ingredients like, I don't know, sand, limestone, talc, things that aren't, anything I researched on them brought back nothing as far as being an endocrine problem or anything. Interesting that in this scan, the Zyto scan, it will show you what the top 5 stressors are for each particular system. And for his endocrine system, the number 1 stressor was endocrine disruptor. Endocrine disruptors. Now, those are chemicals. And so none of those 6 ingredients listed had anything to do with being an endocrine disruptor. So I had to keep searching, and I kept searching. And finally, I looked up, I Googled material safety data sheet for this company. And sure enough, it listed 4 more ingredients, 4 more. And one of them is formaldehyde. Well, by now you should all know what I say about formaldehyde. It's a preservative, it's a biocide. So, and it's an endocrine disruptor. But none of this is listed on the ingredient list. So, once we found that out, of course, it clearly is impacting his complete systems terribly. And anything with your endocrine system has to do with your energy, your stamina, because it has to do with all of your hormones, your thyroid, which was another stressor that was listed on his scan. So we were able to find out what would be beneficial, that would impact his endocrine system in a positive way, so we can counteract these effects. We have implemented that in place. I will include all of this information, including screenshots of his scan and the stressors and what was recommended for him to counteract, and you'll see how the positive impact it has on the scan itself. So look for that in the next couple days, and hopefully none of you are encountering any of these endocrine disruptors, but it certainly is something to think about before embarking on some projects. So if you're trying to have a healthy lifestyle, there are other products that can be used, and I'll include that in my research as well. Now, go be awesome.